Good morning. Welcome to your yin class here with Comeback Yoga. So happy to have you and welcome to your Friday morning. My name is Beth Evans. I'll be your humble guide through this practice today, and I really hope that it gives you the benefits that you're looking for to start your morning off with a little more space, feeling a little more invigorated. So, with that said, as you find a comfortable position on your mat today, I'd like to just take a moment and go through what this class will look like for you. As we start off this class, we will do a breath series, breath work, that we can incorporate this breath work throughout our poses. The shapes that we take in yin class are meant to be held for a length of time to allow for your mind, your body, and your breath to connect and slow and allow the deepening of the shape so that you can get past the large muscles and go into the deeper tissues, the tendons, joints, ligaments. Once we finalize the shapes, concentrating mostly on shoulders and lower back today, we will complete our practice by finding stillness and absorbing all of the benefits, allowing our body to completely rejuvenate before we enter out into the world today. So if that sounds good to you, please take a moment, get yourself comfortable, whether you're sitting down or you're lying down on your mat. Find yourself supported and balanced. And then allow for your shoulders to soften, your eyes to soften. Maybe they even close down. Take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, notice where you can soften, what you can let go. Release any anticipation. And just notice your breath as you take one more nice deep breath here. Notice how it feels. Just check in. There's no need to judge. Check in with your breath. If it feels staggered, choppy, can you lengthen and smooth it? And slow it down simply by lengthening your exhale. Take a moment and allow for your ears to open just a little bit more as you listen for any noises you may hear with inside the room you're in. Release any judgment. Just let your mind absorb these so they release distraction, hopefully. And then notice any noise or distraction you hear outside of the room, maybe even outside of the building you're in. And just take a deep breath in and let all of that go. And in your mind's eye, maybe you can even paint the walls around you, the ceiling, the floor, or you can look around you, notice. Allowing your body to take your environment in, and then take a deep breath in. And lengthen your exhale down to your toes as you signal your mind that it can be at ease in this moment. Maybe your eyelids grow even heavier. Or you soften and release all of the focus. Just notice now your breath. Where do you feel the expansion? Maybe in your stomach, your ribs, your shoulders as you breathe. And where do you feel or notice the exhale, any release or contraction as you let it go? Take 3 deep breaths here. Just connecting your mind into your body, being curious of how your breath flows and what the breath feels like, the quality, choppy or smooth, hard or soft, fast or slow. Because once you find the starting point of your breath, then you have the starting point of the practice. That allows you to notice any differences that you create with intention. So you can keep your eyes closed, you can flutter them open. We will create an equal parts breath now. So exhale all of your air out. And we'll inhale to 4, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for a moment. Notice where you can soften your muscles. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 more times. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Soften your muscles. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2. Hold it here. Exhale, 4, 2. Inhale. Hold it here. Soften as you exhale. Let it all go. 2, 3, 4. Last one all together. Inhale. Notice where your body has expanded to receive this breath. And as you exhale, notice it soften. 2, 3, 4. Nicely done. Flutter your eyes open. Take a moment. Maybe you shrug your shoulders. Or if you wish, you can drop one ear to the shoulder. And then with the inhale, draw your gaze up. Let your exhale drop to the other shoulder. And just notice where you feel any tension, just in the moments that you're taking this organic movement. Maybe a cat-cow, bringing your hands out towards your knees, rounding your shoulders forward, pulling your belly button into spine. And then inhale as you lift your chest, shoulder blades engage as you look up, maybe chin up. And one more time, drawing your spine towards the back of the room, rounding and hollowing out through your abdomen. And extending the chest, the collarbones forwards, pulling your shoulders back and down. And find your comfortable position. Wonderful. If you are in a seated position, go ahead and stretch out your legs. The first posture, the first shape that we will be taking will be a melting heart. But we all know how very different we are. And so I've given you a few variations of choice. If the choices I give you are not something that's working in your body or your mind today, find the next comfortable posture that you can take. Remembering that yin is bringing the unity, the slowness, and the intention directly into uniting your breath, your body, and your mind. So, no matter what shape you're in, if you're breathing and connecting your mind to your breath and being aware of your body, you're doing the job. So, let's get started. In a child's pose, a few things. If you have ouchy knees, maybe you grab an extra blanket or you roll your mat to give yourself extra cushion. Your toes can be touching, they certainly don't have to, but the knees come out wide as you lower yourself down, dropping your forehead or your head. Your shoulders might not like this, and so maybe the variation looks like your hand coming behind your back, one at a time if you'd like to hold the balance, or maybe both can come back. But just notice where your body chooses to be. There's no right or wrong, except for when you feel that sharp shooting pain. That probably is wrong. But other than that, you have so much range of motion, so many thoughts, so many breath cycles that you can work on, just uniting, slowing it all down. And so we won't be here for too much longer. And if your forehead is touching a mat or a blanket or a prop, if you wish, you can roll it from side to side. You can drop your shoulders a little lower to the mat if you wish. The concept I'm working today or introducing to you is balance. Balance is not a static act. Balance is dynamic. Always flowing, always moving, even in a counterbalancing. Slight dynamics are always applied in balance. And so notice maybe it's your thoughts that have wandered away, run away out of the room. Maybe it's your breath that's feeling all over the place, or your body's talking to you. Notice where you can soften and slow down the balancing. Notice where you feel balanced and supported in this shape as you take 3 more deep breaths here. Now we're in child's pose, and you can please stay there if you wish. They also refer to this in yin as wisdom. Yang is child's. So you can stay here if this feels comfortable for you. As we move on to melting heart, this is an option. I'm going to show you from the side because it is the best way to figure it out, really. So from the child's pose, come up to a tabletop. And then when you have your hips over your knees, some people have their feet flat. I tend to curl mine under just for balance. But just crawl your hands. Reach the left hand forward, maybe then the right hand. Just shimmy them down. So they're giving you length so your chest can come down towards the mat. It's pulling your shoulders back and down towards your hips. But if your hips have started to fall forward, then you've lost the posture. So remember, balancing is not a static act. So notice where you can find the balance. If melting heart is not in your practice today, that's okay. Find a place where you can find balance in your breath, your mind, and your body. You can let your forehead drop, but let your chest be the first point of contact with the ground, allowing your chest to melt, melting heart. So here you are. Notice where you feel tension, any resistance. Maybe you close your eyes and you just focus on your breath. Where can you follow your breath through your body? How can you lengthen the exhale to slow it down? Soften your jaw. Smooth your forehead, your neck. Where has your mind gone? And can you focus on a nice big inhale? Connect your mind, your breath, and exhale it all down to your toes as you get out of your head and into your body. 1 minute remains. Notice what comes up for you, if anything, any feelings, any emotions, any thoughts that flicker by. Just exhale them out. No need to analyze it or hash it. Just let it go. 3 breath cycles remain for you here. And when you're ready and you've taken those 3 breaths, a gentle release forward, coming off of the knees and onto the tummy. And allow for your body to completely release its engagement. If you need to move, wiggle or waggle, get out the wiggles, that's fine. And then find stillness in a rested pose. Let your body completely release the muscle engagements. You have 2 breaths to move your body organically or find your stillness. What is the balance that you need in this moment? Don't fall asleep on me. We still have more to do. I can't wake you if I can't hear you snoring. We're going to come into a half frog today. So that's why we're on our belly. And I will go ahead and show you from the point of view of the face. So in your half frog, you can stay right where you are. Actually, I'll show you from the side. And then just let your chin come to the mat. We'll start with the right hand first. So draw your right hand back and place your palm down so that your fingertips are in line with your pecs. Your elbows are bent like cricket legs, and then bring them tight into the side body. Stretch your left arm out. So your left arm is out like a capital T, just like this. Good. And then we're starting with the right. So here's the fun part. Maybe your ear, the left ear is on the mat, or it can be the right. It depends. Your left arm is out, your right hand is in towards your pecs. And then as you exhale, bring your right knee in and up towards your hip. Now notice first where you can find balance. So I'm going to switch my neck so that my chin is on the mat. Maybe it's your forehead or maybe it's your ear. But notice first the physicality of this pose, of this shape. How you feel it in your hips, if your hips can be flat on the mat. And then soften your eyes, release the focus, and draw your awareness to the feeling of your breath. How does your breath feel in this moment? And can you feel where your breath flows as your stomach and chest connect with the earth? Notice if your mind has wandered out of the room on your to-do list. And although that's very organized of you to be thinking about your day, just give it a break and a nice deep breath in as you exhale all the distraction. And focus on balancing your breath, your mind, and your body. Can you soften your neck and your shoulders away from your ears? Can you allow for your body to grow heavier towards the earth? And soften your glutes. If your mind wanders out of the room, it's absolutely normal. But your breath is the guide, so breathe to gain control. And exhale to release it all back into this present moment. As 1 minute remains on the right side in your half frog shape. Begin to deepen your breath cycles. Connect with your own oceanic rhythm. One of my teachers calls it the wave breath. And as gently and slowly as you wish, keeping softness throughout the body, mind, and breath, a gentle and slow release of the right side. Finding any organic movement, maybe swaying from side to side, rotating wrists or ankles. Notice where your body is retaining any resistance or tension. And maybe just like when you breathe into spaces that feel tense, maybe moving around to completely release any thoughts or recognition of the right side pose we just completed. And then find your stillness, rest. Connect your breath, your mind back into your body before we start and finish the left side. So your chin can come to the mat. Left arm, exact same thing. Left arm comes, hand right down by your pecs, in line with your pecs. Zip up, bring the elbow in towards the side body. Right arm comes out like a capital T. Fingertips are in line with your shoulder. And then a nice deep breath. As you exhale, draw your left knee up towards your left hip. If you feel any tingling sensations in your arms, you can also reach your arms up in a variation. But notice first how the breath, how the body is connecting on this left side. Where have you found muscle engagement? And can you invite the breath in to soften and smooth the muscles? To set your mind at ease, can you exhale slowly down to your heels? Can you relax or release the engagement of your cheekbones and your jaw? Can you let your hips be heavier to the earth? Let your tongue rest heavy on the bottom of your mouth and take a nice deep breath in. Soften, slow your exhale. As 1 minute remains, 3 deep breath cycles here. Slowly and gently draw your way back to midline. Release the pose entirely. And find organic movement of your choice. Maybe you sway from hip to hip. Maybe you rotate ankles and wrists. And as you take these 2 breaths here, organically releasing our half frog today, I'd like to warn you that I will be having you do a little standing position, which is not like me. I'm not a huge stander in yoga anyway. I do too much in real life. But we're going to incorporate dangle today, our dangling pose. So again, this is a variation, and you certainly can do this in a few different movements. But what we're wanting to do is release the lower back and the sacrum. So it's just really what they call in yang practice a ragdoll pose. And you can just gently and slowly come up. If you don't want to do this, you can also just lay on the ground and do a forward fold, which I will show in a minute. I'm using a wall today, so you can actually use a wall too if you just want to bump your lower back up next to it. Your feet can be as wide or wider than your hips. And then just bend your knees so much so that your stomach comes into your thighs and your head hangs long. Now, I know a lot of people like to control all of this. So you might be looking up and extending your neck. See if you can just drop your neck and shake it yes or no. We're not going to be here for super long, so no need to worry. Maybe you grab opposite elbows, but allow your chest and your thighs to be touching. And if your knees are bent so much you're in a squat, well, then you're just like me, but that releases your lower back. The variation on the floor, for those of you who are not standing up, is simply what they call butterfly. But maybe you bring your feet out a little bit wider than your hips and you allow for your body to create a nice forward fold. Roll your shoulders down your back and just relax your head. Simple shaking it yes or no allows you to know if you're holding it or if you're releasing the neck and the pressure of the head, just letting it subside. Wherever you've chosen to be in this moment, let's take 5 deep breaths together. Ready? Open mouth, exhale. Anything that's come up, let it come out. Think about slowing the breath. Closing or softening your eyes. One more. Just for you to let go anything that's got you distracted. And slowly and gently, when you're standing, I'd like you just to release your hands. And then bend your knees so much that you might even come into your own little froggy position. But you're just going to come back down onto your mat. Congratulations. I know I threw that for a loop. So if you joined me in that, proud of you. Always changing things up a little bit. We're going to continue to come back down on our belly into what they consider, well, there's just lots of names for it. You can call it an open shoulder roll. You can call it a broken wing. Some people call it quarter pigeon. Just depends on who you're talking to. But basically, it is a shoulder roll. And we're going to set up almost like we did for half frog. So bring your chin to the mat. Left fingertips come in line with your pecs. Elbows bent. into the side body to create a nice long spine. Right arm is out like the capital T. Once more, chin is on the mat. Now take a nice deep breath in and fill up through the back of your rib cage. Just notice if you feel that. It's okay if you don't. A nice concept to enjoy. And then exhale, press into your left hand and roll onto the right shoulder gently. It is about allowing the breath to get you into the pose and not just forcing yourself in there. So as you rolled over on your right shoulder, notice, where do you feel the first point of tension? I'm not even on my hip stacking and I feel it today. So I'm going to note that. If you're on your hips and your hips are stacked, maybe you just bend your knees and you let your head be heavy. Or as you deepen into this, maybe the top leg, which would be your left leg, will come behind as a kickstand. You can bend your knee and plant your foot. If you're feeling like opening up your shoulders even more and you have the balance, you can rebalance, bringing your left hand behind your back. This opens up your left shoulder, opens up both of the collarbones, stretching and expanding through your chest. But notice where your variation begins and work with that. Draw your breath in. Exhale down to your toes. Get out of your head and into your practice. Where can you soften muscle engagement? In your quads, your thighs, your glutes. Where can you find the calmness of your breath? The softening of your cheekbones. As you find your balance in this shape, be curious if you can lengthen your breath. From the tip of your head down to your heels. Just notice. One more minute remains for you here. You're doing great. If you haven't told yourself that already, you should. Tell yourself you're doing great. Deepen your breath cycle. Three more here for you. On the right side. Slow and gentle release. Letting your arms come down by your side. Let your right ear come to the mat. If you need to move your body in any way to release any tension that may have come up to come out, feel free to take organic movement. You have 2 full breaths. Maybe you find the stillness and you lay on your mat. Eventually, we will all find ourselves laying on the mat for the left side. Chin on the mat. Right hand comes in towards the pecs. Bending the elbow up. Left arm comes out. A little capital T moment here. Look over at your left fingertips. Make sure that your fingertips are in line with your shoulder. Now it's about your breath. So take a nice deep breath in, preparing your body and your mind to do the job for you as you exhale first. Then move, press into your right hand, roll onto your left shoulder. Take it slow, little micro movements at a time so that you find that first point in the shoulder. The first point of tension, that's where you want to be. Not that last point where it's almost sharpshooting, but the first. And then let your head lower. Maybe you bend your knees and stack your hips. Find the balance in your breath first. The softening into this moment. And then notice if a variation intensifies your shape, or if your variation allows you to soften and let gravity do the work for you. Let your eyes close. Release the engagement of any focus that you may have. Focus on your breath as it flows all the way from the crown, the top of your head, down to your toes and the bottom of your feet. Notice where your mind has wandered to. It's okay if it wandered outside of the room. Be nice to yourself, but just bring a nice deep breath into the moment, re-engaging your breath. As you exhale it into your body, let your mind just flow down to your heels. One more minute remains on this side in this shape. So notice if you can slow your breath even more. Soften your focus. Soften your breath. Three more breath cycles in this shape for you here. Notice any things that have come up, exhale them out, let them go. And a slow and gentle release. Coming out of it the way you came in, releasing any variations and allowing for your body to find stillness, either through releasing or simply by surrendering to the earth. Let it go. You notice how quickly you can come back to your normal breath pace. Notice how easily it is to just allow for the thoughts to float by without creating any attachment or needing to control. Just letting it go. There's 2 more breaths for you, so if you need to move organically or you're just enjoying your stillness. A slow and gentle release. We're almost there. You're doing so great. I have a little bit more movement. So again, if you're feeling comfy, just going to lay down on your mat. That's fine. But we are going to continue this wonderful opening through the shoulder, through the pecs, even through some rhomboid. So if you wish to join me, let's come up into a camel. Now in camel, your knees will be hip width apart so that you're stacked. And then maybe you draw your hands behind your back, like you're putting them in imaginary pockets. This opens up again the collarbone, opens up the shoulders. Maybe you can even draw your shoulders together in the back, just to really open up, utilizing that opening you worked so hard for in your broken wing, shoulder roll. So you can just stay right here, pulling your chin over your chest, opening through the shoulders. Maybe that's your variation today. If your neck is feeling cranky, you can tuck your chin into your chest. Or if your neck is feeling healthy and long, maybe you look up, chin up. Finally, the extra variation I will add today is by lifting one arm at a time. So just gently releasing the right arm and lifting it up, bicep by your ears. Choice again to look down to release the neck, or to look up to expand through the opening of your chest, your tummy, the throat. We're not here for very long, just as long as we were in the dangling pose. But just notice how this feels for the arm, for your shoulders. Maybe you close your eyes. We have 3 deep breaths together. Notice that balance is not a static act. Balance is dynamic. And slow and gently lowering your right arm. Notice any tingling, any energetic vibration you feel in your fingertips. And release both hands. Maybe you give yourself a nice big hug in front. Tuck your chin round forward. And if that feels good, you can swing your arms all the way back. Maybe they touch behind you and you bring them down towards your toes. Tucking your chin into your chest. A slow and gentle release. If this was hurting your knees, maybe you get off of your knees for a moment. Finding the sway back and forth. My apologies. You probably already did that if your knees were squawking. Only one more side. This is the last shape. So notice what you notice. Notice where you would like to be. And if on your knees is not working for you, notice if sitting on your hips would be the better choice. Last side, left side. So find your hands behind your back. Maybe your fingertips can point down, but pull your shoulders together and open up through the collarbone. Notice here how you're feeling it in the shoulder. Notice what feeling or any tension or tightness you may be experiencing. Maybe loosen out of that just slightly. And then it's about you. So what does your neck feel like doing? Does your chin like to tuck? Or is it feeling healthy and it would like to lengthen? And maybe you even draw your gaze up, look up. And then finally, how about the left hand? Did you do the right arm stretch? Maybe you reach your left arm up, bicep by your ears-ish. Just a nice straight, tall line here from the tip of your finger down to your knee. Open through your collarbones. Let your shoulder blades touch in the back. Maybe you close your eyes or soften your jaw. You ready? Let's breathe in 3 and out 3 breaths together. Open mouth, exhale anything that comes up for you. Close your eyes and notice your balance. One more here. Gently and slowly, micro movements as you wish, lowering your left hand down. Just beware, be inquisitive of how your body feels. We're doing it slowly so that you can come into that connection. And then maybe once more, wrapping opposite arms around, tucking chin in the chest. If you wish to get off of your knees, please feel free to do so. Just take some organic movement, 2 breaths here. Congratulations, you did it. You rock. All these new things I just incorporated into your life. And now the grand finale, the fireworks of your own wonderful yin practice. So let's go ahead and lay down and watch them, shall we? Just lowering yourself down. Here's a variation too, even in our resting pose. If your lower back is not feeling super lovely today, maybe your knees stay bent. Let your shoulders be heavy, let your hips be heavy. Maybe let your eyes be heavy, and if you wish, you can extend slowly one leg at a time, just noticing how it feels. This is about you being able to completely release engagement and restore your body. So take up as much space on the mat as you wish. Let your toes flop out, let your knees and your elbows slightly bend, maybe your palms face up. That'll relax your forearms and biceps. Release your lower jaw from the top as you separate the jaws, they soften. Maybe your cheekbones and your forehead can soften too. Notice once more your breath as it floats through your body. And as your breath is floating through, where can it release tension in your muscles? How can your exhale release any engagement? Let your body be heavy as your thoughts are light. If your mind has wandered outside of your mat and into your to-do list, maybe one hand comes to your heart, your chest, and one on your abdomen. That allows your breath, your body, and your mind to connect. Maybe the variation of your hand on your ribs instead of on your chest. Begin to deepen your breath cycles. And take 3 more deep breaths here. Slowly and gently, if you wish to release from this practice today, we'll begin to move our fingertips and our toes, but you can stay in your resting pose for as long as you wish. This is your yoga, your practice, so you take it how you need. Awakening to finalize the practice might look like rotating wrists and ankles. Take a great big giant good morning stretch. Maybe your arms come up over your head. You point and flex your toes, open and close your hands to move the lymphs in your body. And gently and slowly bend at your knees and elbows and roll yourself over onto a side. Just notice before you get up on your side how your hips and your shoulders stack. Maybe notice the gentle breath from your nostrils onto your upper lip. And then when you're ready, press into your hand and let the exhale draw you up to a seated and comfortable position. Maybe your hands are on your knees or your thighs, or maybe in an Anjali Mudra, which is hands together at your heart center, but let your chin tuck. Let your shoulders soften away from your ears. And take a nice deep breath in with me. Cleansing exhale out. In this point of reverence to yourself, to your practice, to the initiation of the unity and the balance, take a moment. Know what good work you have done for yourself and thus for others that you will encounter throughout your day and week. May you take this peace, this balance, and the space that you've created within your body and within your mind as your gift from the present moment to you. Until we meet again, namaste. Have a great day and a wonderful week. It is always my pleasure to have you with me. We'll see you next Friday. And do remember that we have our fundraiser coming up on the 28th. I am a table captain, so if you have any questions, please reach out. Of course, you can find all the information on YouTube as well. Please take care of yourself. So lovely to have you. Thank you. Thank you.